policy in Congress allows lawmakers to literally phone it in, or in their case, that means voting by proxy. Democratic Congressman Kahele seems to be making the most of the rule. In a 3-day span in January, he voted by proxy in 120 out of 125 House votes. Joining us now is former Republican Congressman Doug Collins of Georgia. When you were in Congress, sir, you didn't have this option. What do you think about it?
No, we didn't have that. We had to get on a plane and actually go to Washington, D.C. and do our job. This is an outdated policy that was put in place at the very early stages of the pandemic, and at a time in which we were still dealing with how are we going to deal with this in a mass setting. By now, it is a wasted effort. In fact, all this is a Pelosi power grab, and it's really turned into a clown car. And this is the sad about this is you have members in Hawaii. What is interesting, they have 4 members from Hawaii. 3 have chosen to show up for their job. 1 has decided he didn't want to. Last year, we saw chairman not going. There's actually 3 who've not voted this year in Congress, and they're in closer by New Jersey and places like that. So this is just an idea that time has come, but it just shows that Speaker Pelosi likes the consolidation of power, because when nobody's there, she can sort of do what she wants to do.
Well, the other thing is when nobody's there, you and your staff, if you're a member of Congress, let's say you have a tough race coming up, you could just campaign all the time back home. You don't have to go back and forth to D.C. And the other thing is this congressman in Hawaii, he's a pilot, and he's been flying for Hawaiian Airlines. Now, apparently in Congress, you're allowed to make up to $29,000 a year in outside income. He says that he's been cleared by the Ethics Committee to be able to do all of this flying. He says this, his office does. The congressman is deeply concerned about the health and safety of members of his own family because he lives in a multi-generational home. To limit his exposure to COVID-19 and the potential to spread the virus, our office has tried to reduce his cross-country travel while ensuring he fulfills all of his responsibilities in Congress. However, did you catch the part where I said he's a pilot and he's been flying on Hawaiian Airlines, but he can't get on a flight to come back to D.C. because of COVID?
Look, it's just a joke at this point. I mean, that's exactly what he's doing. He's flying. Not only do the ethics rules say you can only earn so much income, you can keep up certifications. We've seen that with doctors in Congress who would do, but they do it more pro bono. They go back to keep their skills up. He's actually earning income from flying. But when he gets on those planes, what is the standard of getting out in public? He's making multiple appearances across multiple islands in Hawaii. He's seeing people every day. This excuse doesn't hold up. But Dana, here's the real problem with this policy. It has been abused, and unfortunately, both Republicans and Democrats have said, well, if this is the way it's going to be, I'll just use it this way. You've had members not show up for hearings. You've had members who have been in hearings away from Washington, D.C., who have been, frankly, unfortunately, half-dressed. You've seen them on boats. You've seen them in cars. This has got to stop. The American people deserve better. And when I was there, like I said, we had to show up to vote. There's a dynamic of being there that is important. Pelosi just enjoys being the power center to get what she wants to do. But this has got to stop. Americans are not buying for this anymore.
This particular congressman is also on the Transportation Subcommittee, overseeing the aviation industry, and Jake Sherman of Punchbowl News, he's been covering this a lot. Jake Sherman tweeted that they have not produced a shred of evidence about the ethics clearing this agreement. Do you think Nancy Pelosi ought to make sure she deals with this quickly and tries to get people back to Congress, like the rest of us, getting back to work?
This should be, look, if he's done anything that needs to be ethics complaint, then that needs to be filed. And Nancy Pelosi needs to use this as the reason to stop this. Just like we need to take, and Dana, I agree with you, the masks need to come off on public transportation. This is the time to do it. Nancy Pelosi has a way to do it now, focused on this report, and say, look, we're not going to do this anymore. You can get back. You've got to actually vote. Remember, though, this idea of proxy voting is something that people have been using, and now that they're continuing it, it just becomes easier and easier to do other things. And I think that's why it needs to stop, because people are just losing faith completely that the House, and let me rephrase this, the House is the only one doing this. The senators have had to show up all the time. Why is the difference here? It goes back to Nancy Pelosi.
All right, Doug Collins, former congressman from Georgia. Great to have you on the show today. Good to be back in touch. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.